Heart disease almost never comes suddenly, and that is exactly why it is so dangerous, because instead of attacking you all at once, it slowly sends small warning signals, day after day, week after week, sometimes even for years, while you keep telling yourself that everything is fine. Most people who suffer a heart attack later will tell you the same thing. I felt something was wrong, but I ignored it. I thought it was just age. I thought it was stress. I didn't want to make a big deal. And maybe you are doing the same thing right now. If you are over 40, over 50, or over 60 years old, your body may already be sending you quiet messages that your heart is struggling. And the problem is not that the signs are invisible, but that we have learned to ignore them. Today, I want you to slow down. Listen carefully and truly hear what your body may be trying to tell you, because recognizing heart disease early can give you time, options, and most importantly, a chance to protect your life. Let's talk about the first sign. Sign 1. Chest discomfort that people often ignore. When most people hear the words heart disease, they imagine sudden, sharp, unbearable chest pain. But in real life, heart-related chest problems often feel much quieter, much more confusing, and much easier to explain away. You may feel a strange pressure in the center of your chest, not exactly pain, but a heavy, tight, uncomfortable feeling, as if something is sitting on your chest, especially when you walk fast, climb stairs, carry heavy objects, or feel emotionally stressed. Sometimes it feels like mild burning, like indigestion, sometimes like squeezing, sometimes just a deep discomfort that makes you pause for a moment and take a breath. And because it often goes away when you rest, you tell yourself that it must be nothing serious. But this type of chest discomfort is one of the clearest early signs that your heart is not receiving enough oxygen-rich blood, usually because the arteries that feed your heart are slowly narrowing over time. What makes this especially dangerous is that many people feel this discomfort for months or even years before a major heart event, and each time it happens, they ignore it, normalize it, and move on. If your chest feels uncomfortable during activity and better when you stop, your body is not being dramatic, it is warning you. Sign 2. Unusual shortness of breath, even with simple activities. Another sign that is very common but very often dismissed is shortness of breath that seems out of proportion to what you are doing. You may notice that you become breathless while doing things that never used to be a problem, such as walking a short distance, climbing a few stairs, bending down to pick something up, or even talking while walking. At first, you may tell yourself that it is because you are getting older, out of shape, or gaining a little weight, but deep inside, you may sense that something feels different. When the heart becomes weaker or the blood flow to the heart is reduced, it cannot pump efficiently, which means your lungs do not get the oxygen support they need, and your body reacts by making you breathe faster and harder. Many people describe this feeling as, I get tired too easily, or I feel winded for no clear reason, or I need to stop and catch my breath more often than before. And here's something very important. Shortness of breath related to heart disease does not always come with chest pain, which is why so many people miss it. If you notice that simple daily activities leave you unusually breathless, especially compared to just a year or two ago, your heart may already be under strain. Sign 3. Constant fatigue that does not go away with rest. One of the most overlooked signs of heart disease is a deep, persistent fatigue that seems to follow you no matter how much you rest, no matter how early you go to bed, and no matter how little you do during the day. This is not normal tiredness after a long day of work, and it is not the kind of fatigue that improves after a good night's sleep, but rather a heavy, draining exhaustion that makes even simple tasks feel difficult and overwhelming. You may wake up already feeling tired, you may lose motivation to do things you once enjoyed, and you may feel that your energy disappears very quickly, even after minimal physical or mental effort. Many people describe this feeling as, my body feels weak, or I get tired too easily, or I don't feel like myself anymore. And because this fatigue develops slowly over time, it becomes part of daily life and is rarely questioned. What is actually happening is that when your heart is not pumping efficiently, your muscles, organs, and brain are not receiving enough oxygen and nutrients, forcing your body to work harder just to maintain basic functions. This constant strain drains your energy silently, and the longer it continues, the more exhausted you feel, even though you cannot point to a clear cause. If you find yourself feeling unusually tired most days, especially when combined with other subtle symptoms, your heart may be struggling more than you realize. Sign 4. Pain or discomfort that spreads to other parts of the body. Heart-related pain does not always stay in the chest, and in many cases, it shows up in places that seem completely unrelated to the heart, which is why so many people fail to connect the dots. You may experience discomfort, aching, pressure, or strange sensations that travel into your left arm, right arm, shoulders, upper back, neck, jaw, or even down into your teeth. Sometimes this discomfort feels dull and heavy rather than sharp, and sometimes it comes and goes, making it easy to dismiss as muscle tension, poor posture, or joint problems. In women especially, heart disease symptoms often appear in these less typical areas rather than the chest, which leads many women to delay seeking medical attention. This happens because the nerves that carry pain signals from the heart also connect to other parts of the upper body, causing the brain to misinterpret where the discomfort is coming from. If you notice unexplained pain or discomfort in your arm, jaw, neck, or back, particularly during physical activity or emotional stress, and especially if it improves with rest, your heart may be sending a warning that should not be ignored. Sign 5. Dizziness, lightheadedness, or feeling faint. The fifth sign is one that often frightens people, but is still commonly brushed aside, and that is frequent dizziness, lightheadedness, or moments when you feel like you might faint. You may feel unsteady when standing up, you may suddenly feel weak or disoriented, or you may experience brief episodes where the world feels slightly out of focus. Many people assume this is due to dehydration, low blood sugar, or simply standing up too quickly. But when it happens repeatedly, it can indicate that your heart is not pumping enough blood to your brain. When the heart struggles to maintain proper blood flow, the brain is often one of the first organs to feel the effects, leading to dizziness, confusion, or near-fainting episodes. These sensations may be brief, but they are important because they suggest that your cardiovascular system is under stress and may not be responding adequately to the demands placed on it. If you notice frequent dizziness, especially when combined with fatigue, shortness of breath, or chest discomfort, this is a sign that your heart may already be compromised. Heart disease rarely gives dramatic warnings in its early stages, and instead it quietly changes how you feel, how you move, and how your body responds to everyday life. Chest discomfort, shortness of breath, constant fatigue, pain that spreads beyond the chest, and frequent dizziness are not random inconveniences, and they are not simply a normal part of aging. They are signals, and the sooner you take them seriously, the more power you have to protect your health and your future. Ignoring these signs does not make them disappear. It only gives heart disease more time to progress silently. If this video helped you understand your body better, please take a moment to like it, because it helps this message reach more people who may not realize they are at risk. Share this video with someone you care about, especially parents, relatives, or friends over the age of 40, because one conversation today could prevent a tragedy tomorrow. And most importantly, if you recognize these signs in yourself, do not ignore them, do not delay, and do not convince yourself that it is nothing, because your heart is not something you can replace. Listen to your body, take action early, and give yourself the chance to live a longer, healthier life.